Hey, it's Justin, Lauren's husband, with your November 19th update on Lauren's recovery. Coming to you live from the Shepherd Center in Atlanta, Georgia. So, we just had our medical conference, and Dr. Wesley Che explained everything as far as what her neck looked like when she was injured and what the surgery did, and then where she is on a recovery process. So, some technical terms for you. You may have heard complete and incomplete injury. Complete means that that's it, nothing can change. And then incomplete means that things are starting to come back, whether it's functionality, feeling, movement, things like that. So when she was initially injured, it was a complete injury. So there's something called an ASIA scale, and it goes letters A, B, C, D, E. A means complete injury. Then B means there's a little bit of feeling. C means there's feeling and function. D means there's a lot of feeling and function. E means they're ready to go. They can walk and do everything else like normal folks. So right now they have her right in the middle at an ASIA score C. So that means that she has lots of her sensations and feelings, and that her movement and functionality is starting to return, although it is weak at this point. So that's just where she is. So she's gone from an A to a C in about 6.5 weeks from the date of the injury. So they're very optimistic about that. And she could definitely get to a D, and maybe in another 6 weeks, or who knows, it could be 6 months, or maybe she never does. We don't know. There's just so many things we don't know. However, they're very optimistic that just logically, if she couldn't move anything when she got hurt, and now she can move stuff and feel almost everything in 6.5 weeks, it's a good sign. So Lauren has completed now a full week of her therapy, of the rehab on the floor here. So, because last Thursday was her first full day, so this is a week later, and it's remarkable where she has gone in a week. You know, when she first got here, she mentally it was having a hard time. Anxiety was off the charts, unfortunately, but that's just a part of this. And as we've gone and she's gotten more comfortable and she's gotten through some of the things that they've asked her to do, she has gotten stronger and more confident. The one thing that's been a bit of a snag at times is when her blood pressure drops down. And there's many reasons why that would happen. But when it does happen, it can make her dizzy, lightheaded, and they have to pause the rehab and then give her some fluids or give her some different medicines or just tilt her chair back or whatever the case is. And sometimes it can knock the whole day out of whack. So she's had a couple days where that's happened in the middle of the day, and they've figured out a way to have her get back on track, and she's rallied and finished her days. She's finished all her days. So it's only happened maybe 25-30% of the time where she has that low blood pressure, and it's just part of it. It could happen. You know, they're giving her all kinds of medications. They're monitoring everything they can possibly monitor for that to make sure she can stay on that even plane. Today she's been great. She, with the trach, you may have seen that. So that's her respiratory safety net, and they have her. If you can see back there, that's called a ventilator. So what they do is at night they have the ventilator go in here, and it just helps her breathe while she's sleeping. So the first week and a half, they had her from 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. The last few days, they were doing midnight to 6 a.m. on the vent, with her being off it the rest of the day. And so what they want to see is how can she function when she's not on the ventilator, when she doesn't need help. So they finally got to a point where they say, hey, she's doing pretty good. So tonight, if there's a bed available in the ICU, we're going to go in there and they're going to take her completely off the ventilator. If she makes it through the night, no problem, and that'll be it. They'll downgrade her trach. She's going to be able to talk more. And then another week or so of that level of the trach, then they can take the thing out and she's back to normal. She was talking a ton today.
Hey, Leah and Isaac, love you guys so much. Mommy will be home soon. Kiss all over you. Play with you and hold you. Miss you guys so much.
So some of the things she's been doing in therapy, just getting her from lying in the bed back here to sitting up in the chair for an extended period of time, it's challenging. Just, with the spinal cord injury and just in general, when you're laying down and you try to get up, your equilibrium, blood pressure, breathing, there's so many things that go into this. So they're just monitoring her. They're checking everything every hour or two. But as the days have gone by, she's been able to do more and more. Yesterday they had her in a tilt table, so she was putting her pressure on her feet, laying at about 25 degrees, and they're going to keep slowly bringing her up every few days so she can tolerate it, so when she can get all the way to 90 degrees. It's going to be a while on that, I'm sure, but she did fine. Right now she's on the mat getting stretched out, so they're going to start doing things with her arms and her hands. She's starting to get some more movement in her fingers and her wrist and her right tricep. So they have a thing where they can put a little arm. It's like a little magnetic mechanical arm on her wheelchair, so she can actually start using her hand and getting her brain firing with that. And what they do is they just try to figure out, what does she have now? What can we do with that? How do we strengthen it? How do we bring more out of it while still trying to see what else will come? And it's all a matter of, okay, what can she do today? How do we get her to do the basic things with that? Next week, oh, now she can do this. Okay, so now we can do it this way. We just keep rolling like that for the next few weeks or month until we feel like, okay, now she's ready to do what she needs to do at the house. And then we can go back to the house. And from there, we have a number of options on how we continue her therapy. Now, there's been patients, they've told me that when they get home, they make incredible strides just because mentally they're out of the hospital, they're around their family, and there's other people need to be in the hospital more, and they make their strides there. There's really no rhyme or reason to it. Obviously, with Lauren, we'd love to get her home to the kids as soon as possible. So there's just certain things medically we have to check off, like I said, with the trach and the breathing, the blood pressure, of course, and then also getting her trained on, and me and everybody who's going to be around her, trained on how to do the things that we're used to doing and just in a different way now. And then as she continues to make improvements, then we just modify how we do things. And that's just the trajectory of it. But for now, a week or so into the full rehab, good report so far. I mean, she's battling. I mean, I'm telling you, you don't know what, I mean, none of us can understand what it's like to just be ready to go. Let's do this work today. And then an hour into it, your blood pressure drops and you feel dizzy and you're just like, oh no. And then you vomit and people are saying you need to eat, but you're nauseous. It's just a constant battle for her. But, today I saw a lot of smiles on her face, especially when she was able to talk with the speaking valve, and that's going to continue to get better. And you can just see day by day, it's a cliche, all the cliches apply here, day by day, week by week, things, she gets stronger, she gets more comfortable, and you can start to see her have a better outlook each day when the day begins, because she's getting more comfortable with this whole program. And they're introducing more things to her each week as they go, and then just keep monitoring and adjusting as we go. That's really all we're doing right now. So she really appreciates everything that everybody's providing and all the support and love. And she actually has a message for you. I'll let her conclude this update.
Thanks for all the well wishes and prayers. Love you so much, and we can't wait to see you soon.